Hello everybody, today I'm bringing you a layout with these two photos of my grandson and a couple of quote animals at a zoo. So I'm going to use a border paper first, and that is that yellow polka dot paper that's from Chamel's Little by Little collection, and that's the pint-sized fun paper. I love that little yellow polka dot, and probably actually, now that I think about it, need to order some more when I get a chance, if I can get any, that is. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going to gut that paper because I'll probably want to use that again. I use it for lots of different layering elements, and that's what I want to do, so that's why I want to gut this. I don't always get those little border papers, but when I know I can use it, I do. So then the next paper that I'm going to use is a paper that I absolutely never thought I would use in the side of it I'm going to use anyway. So that is Chamel's Little by Little Forest Friends paper, and it's the paper with the little animals all over it. And when I got it, I even think I did a review of this line. I think I said, oh, really cute, but I'll never use this. And then I saw these photos of my grandson and thought of that paper and thought, oh my gosh, okay, that's like the perfect paper to use for this. So the Little by Little line is kind of reminiscent of children's storybooks and those kinds of things. So that's one of the reasons that there's all these little darling animals. And this paper does kind of look like it came out of a storybook, but it's absolutely perfect for these photos from the zoo. And these are like resin animals or something like that. They're not real animals, obviously, or he wouldn't be able to be in them. But they're cute. I like the way this works with background paper. So what I did is I just cut off a 1/2 of an inch from, or actually I think I cut off 3/4 of an inch from either side. And for me, that gives the perfect reveal of the border. And I'm trying to decide what kind of paper I'm going to use as a matting piece there. And I'm thinking about that yellow paper. I originally was thinking about the polka dot and then decided I wanted a little bit more of a difference. But I'm not loving that yellow paper so much. It's a little bit too much yellow. So I went to my stash of faux solid papers, which I keep in trays. I don't keep these in the pockets that I keep my manufacturer's papers in, or my collection papers. These are just in trays. And I went to my green tray and found this American Crafts paper. Now, it doesn't have a name or anything on it, so I don't really know what kind of collection it came from. I think a few years ago they did a collection of just solids with little patterns in them. And so it's probably about 2 years old. But this is this great Kelly green paper. And it's a really nice foil for these pieces. Now, I knew I wanted to use some of these animal die cuts because I'm not going to be able to use them a ton. So I pulled some of those out from the ephemera, and those are from Little by Little, the die cut shapes. And then I saw this little bear cut apart, and I thought that would be really cute to do the journaling on. So that 3x4 cut apart is the Grinning Badger paper from Little by Little. And now I'm just trying to decide here where I'm going to place these clusters, and like I have that little bear, and where am I going to place him. He's not going to make it on the layout, but I did get this badger here, and I really liked him. And I was thinking about this bunny, but the pink was really calling a lot of attention to itself there. And I'm not quite sure because there is pink in the rest of the layout, but it just felt like too much pink. And since it is a layout of my grandson, I don't know. I wasn't really wild about that much pink on the layout. Not that I don't put pink on his layouts or their layouts. I certainly do. But this one just didn't feel right. So I kind of played around. I think the other thing is that it was taller than the other die cut, but not quite as solid. I tried cutting off the I love you banner so I could tuck it in a little bit differently. And I still am not really caring for this. So I'm thinking about it and thinking, okay, what else do I do here? Because that's not really, I'm not wild about it. And then I looked just to my left hand there, and I had this sheet of, I think they're 3x3 cutouts, because I think there's 4. A square cut apart sheet, and I pulled this little fox, and sorry you can't see that, that's a little bit out of your view there as I fussy cut it, but that paper is the Think Big paper in Little by Little, and I'm just going to cut this fox out, and it's perfect. And I think part of the reason that is the fox is in the background of this Forest Friends paper, and it's probably the brightest animal on that Forest Friends paper. I think it just sort of blends a little bit in because it's in the background already, and it's bright in the background. So it's not calling too much attention to itself like I thought the rabbit did. So now that I have that cut apart, fussy cut, I really, really like the way that looks. And they're a little bit more masculine animals, I guess, which I don't know, that's kind of silly, but it is. So I thought about trying to like get a feather or something in the background there, and that feather just didn't look right. So I'm not going to do that. Played around, there was a little lion sticker, thought about that, but decided that that was not the right piece to do. And then I'm inking my edges here with my Memento Dewdrop Gray Flannel ink, which if you watch me, you know that's the ink, definitely my go-to ink. It's a nice dark gray. And then I'm going to ink all of these pieces and put them down. I know that I do want more things on this layout, but I'm not quite sure what that is yet or how that's going to work. I'm also thinking about where I'm going to put my title. I have 2 kind of places where it could go. One is to the right of those 2 little animals up there in the top left, and one is kind of below the photos as well. I'm still trying to get a third thing in that cluster, and I'm not finding it quite yet, but then I go to the sheet of stickers, and they had a couple of little banners on that sheet. So I found this little blue banner, and that is from the actual sheet of stickers versus the sticker book. And you can see that there. And I decided to put it just right behind their head. And I'm going to put something on there to make it a little bit more meaningful. Now I'm going back to the sticker book just to look and see if there's anything else that kind of catches my eye. And as long as I'm doing that, I found this little alphabet, or when I was doing that, I found this little alphabet and realized it would be the perfect size to put some sort of title on the little banner there, because I knew I wanted to put something on that banner, and I'm going to put the word zoo on there. Now this is a multicolored alphabet, but I decided to use only the navy pieces here just because there's so much color going on in the background. I wanted that word to kind of stand out, not get lost in all the other color, because that just makes it a little bit different than all the other color going on in the background. So I was able to actually find 2 navy O's there, and I like it because it's dark. I had a choice of lots of different colors, but I like the navy because that stands out. So now it sort of looks like those little animals are holding the zoo banner. I know I want to do my title, and I think I'm going to do it in yellow here. I like these Pink Fresh Studio puffy. They're almost like a puffy alphabet sticker would be the best way to explain them. They're fairly large, however, and you'll see that in a little bit I decide that they're not going to be right because I'm really thinking I want that title up at the top of the photo next to the animals. That just kind of makes sense to me. Now the reason that I chose the yellow was because I have that very bright yellow lion and I have the yellow border, and see I really want the title to say captured, not just capture. And I'm not going to be able to get the captured, the D on there without it hanging over the edge. And I don't want to do that. I want my letters to have a home per se. So anyway, I decided on yellow because I have that very bright lion standing out in the center, and then I obviously have the yellow border, but the lion is just really calling a lot of attention to itself. So by using the yellow alphabet, I'm kind of neutralizing the line a little bit because there's something else that's yellow, and then it also leads your eye across the photo. And then the other thing that's kind of subtle here that you may not notice, but if you look at my grandson in that snake, the snake has like a yellow belly there, and you can see that right below its head. So when I put this title down, there'll be 3 spots of yellow. There'll be that title there, there'll be the snake, the underside of the snake, and then also the lion, and then it's all framed by a little bit of yellow. But those 3 spots of yellow draw your eye across the photos because they surround the photos, or in one case it is actually in the photo. All right, then I did not have a T here, so I'm making one out of an F, which I will most often do. And I cut it a little bit too far down, and it was a little bit too short. So I'm going to actually cut another one. And then I'll cut a little cross piece from the other F to make the T there. Just stretching my alphabet and making it work. And then the next letter that I don't have is an E, so I'm just going to cut off the sides of the B there, and then that will make my E. Again, making my supplies work for me. And then the cool part is I just get that much more use out of an alphabet. All right, and I'm just going to get rid of those pieces so they don't stick all over me. Okay. Because you know how that is when you're a scrapbooker, all of a sudden you have something on your sleeve or wherever it is. All right, so I'm just looking again for anything else here, and I find this star, and that sticker, that is the sticker book there. And I'm going to put a dimensional adhesive dot behind it. I couldn't think of the word for it. A pop dot. That's the word I really wanted. I'm going to put a pop dot behind that so that it sticks up a little bit. And I like how that looks. And that just brings a touch of blue down into the bottom part of the layout because I have blue on the top. I also put a pop dot on one side of that flag so it's a little bit more dimensional. And I think I forgot to tell you what that alphabet was. I love that yellow alphabet. It's the American Crafts Thickers Boardwalk alphabet. And I'm going through my second of 2 sets, and I don't think I'll be able to get them again. So I'll be very sad when I'm done with them because it is a great yellow. All right, so I have those pieces done. I'm continuing to look through my sticker book to see if there's anything else, and that's the Little by Little sticker book, by the way, to see if there's anything else that I think that I can use. And I find a yellow star there, so I'm going to put a pop top behind that and just add it to the top of that. And now I really kind of have 4 places of yellow, which does a really, really nice job of framing those photos. At the end of this, I did, when I was just finished, after I turned the camera off, realized I wanted something a little, like little details on there. So I took a couple of the Little by Little enamel stars, or stars from the enamel dots from Little by Little. So just take a peek at those. I put one down next to the lion, one up to the yellow star, and I think that's it. I just did those pieces. So anyway, here's the still shot and a couple of detail shots. Hope you are all well, and I'll be back again soon. Bye!